You're on 94.1 FM, 3WBC, with Jerry Guirguis presenting
Downtown, everything's waiting for you. Downtown.
And now here's Jerry Guirguis, 94.1 FM, 3WBC, the voice of the Inner East.
Hang around and let your problems surround you. There are movie shows downtown. Maybe you know some little places to go to where they never close. Downtown, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them too before the night.
Hi, my name is Jerry Guirguis, presenting today's interview on 3WBC 94.1 FM Downtown. My special guest today is Khaled Hosni, author, Brushstrokes of Arab Cinema, A Century Unveiled. Beautifully 440 rare and beautifully preserved posters celebrating 100 golden years of Arab cinema. Hi, and welcome to 94.1 FM Downtown.
Hi, Jerry. Thanks for having me. And welcome to your viewers as well.
Thank you so much. Now, recently you had an exhibition at Hume City Council on the 3rd of April 2025. Can I take this opportunity to congratulate and celebrate Khaled Hosni achievements, the protagonist,
Thank you.
author of a magnificently finished compilation of Arab cinema advertising posters. Tell us about your family heritage, Khaled.
Yeah, so both my parents are from Lebanese background. So my family migrated predominantly from my dad's family side first, in the 70s. And I was born in Australia. And I've grown up with a lot of cinema and music as well. And yeah, it's basically part of who I am now. Just identity and culture, and yeah, it was always around growing up.
Nice to have you on board. Now tell us, what was it really about? Was it about the posters, the banners, the billboard, the illustrations that got your attention at an early age?
I think naturally, I think I'm drawn to storytelling through visuals, just because as a designer, I just basically, like, my hobby is collecting posters, but also designing my own posters as well. And essentially the posters that do feature in my book, they've been digitally restored. Because as you can imagine, it's 100 years of posters that, have been damaged and not necessarily seen by a lot of viewers as well, just because, they're one of a kind. So essentially that's kind of how the project kind of started. So I've been collecting posters for about 15 years, and digitally restoring them just as a hobby. And then I just started noticing that people started having an interest, and, whenever someone would come over, I'd be showing them my posters or show off what I had new or what I'm going to buy next. And I'm like, there's something here. There's something here that, I could definitely, share with the world, especially with Western audiences too, just because sometimes there's, some form of like negativity when it comes to I guess Arab things. Like sometimes we can be, perceived as, not necessarily open-minded or, depending on, I guess, things that happen due to history. But it's actually quite the opposite. They're like, even doing my research, it's just amazing to see how open-minded Arab cinema was, like some of the themes they kind of explored. So yeah, like it's been an amazing journey, and I've really enjoyed putting the exhibition and the book together. And I just hope it gives everyone the same kind of satisfaction it's given me putting it together.
Well, it definitely came across that way. How did the exposure to Arab movies at home make a difference in your life? And I think you've touched on that a bit, but yeah, Khaled?
Yeah, so I grew up listening to Arabic music, and that obsession kind of grew. the same with Arab cinema. I think watching Arab films and TV, I think predominantly from my family's point of view, was a source of connection.
Yep.
And by exchange, the same for me. So connecting to my culture,
Yep.
um, and my roots, and then I guess just from there on, it kind of identifies who I am as a person. And yeah, like I mean, the films shape how I understood my identity, and they
Yep.
continue to inspire my work and outlook today.
Um, did you get together with your friends and binge on Arab movies, Khaled?
Look, I'd say as an adult more
Yeah.
so. I think predominantly growing up, it was more family oriented.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, courtesy of the book, there's a lot of people that I've connected with on Instagram that share
Yeah.
very similar interests.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been going to film premieres and, yeah, seeing Arab films with friends and, just making new connections. And it's been quite rewarding.
Um, okay, tell us about the passion. I'm really interested because that's deep and meaningful. The passion that drove you to have this book published, Khaled.
I think for me, it was important to preserve the art and history of Arab cinema
Mm.
because predominantly, like the golden years, haven't been properly archived or preserved. And because I had the posters, I just felt like this was the perfect opportunity to do that. And during my research, it became more and more clear that like there's virtually no information on these posters, even the artists that are associated with them. And essentially, I had to do an extensive amount of research of what actually was available. I've read a lot of books, and then essentially kind of deconstructing because some of the posters do have the artist's signature. So basically, deconstructing each signature that features on a poster to try work out who the artist actually was. And in some cases, you might look at a poster that actually has the artist connected to it.
Yep.
And then that was kind of a way of piecing everything together.
Yes.
But even things like, are these artists still alive or, what's their cultural background? Because there were a lot of Greek and Spanish, Italian artists that kind of
Yep.
began
Yep.
the trend and then, took a lot of Egyptian artists under their wing. And essentially, that's kind of what we see. More so 70s onwards, it was more Egyptian oriented artists, which was great. But yeah, it was just really fascinating. But yeah, sadly, there is a very limited amount of information, and I felt like it was even more important to put this book together, as well as the exhibition.
Look, I go back to my initial introduction. I really sincerely, really wanted to congratulate and celebrate your achievements. Um, any plan, any plans to travel to Egypt to present your book? Now, or I just want to put it this way, like you said, finding illustrators or visiting art houses. Universities, there's a lot of Western and Egyptian universities that would like to speak to you. Libraries, going into studio tours. There's tours that you could do and, go to Studio Must, and an
Yep.
advertising company. And of course, some of the high IT companies that you want. I visited IBM, and I cut an interview when I was there. And I'm
Yep.
sure you being in that realm of things, you would be also wanting to visit, artificial AI companies and design companies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Basically, all of the above. I think it would be a perfect opportunity to go to Egypt, even to Lebanon, because like I guess being there is very different to trying to communicate with someone via
Mm.
email, especially with language barriers as well. But yeah, it would be fantastic to source more posters, even vinyls. Vinyls are a new hobby of mine, which are quite expensive. But actually being in Egypt and finding those old school vinyls would be amazing. But yeah, like even the studios of what I guess kind of still exists, a lot of them sadly have closed down. But yeah, like visiting Studio Mossad would be amazing. Like that was one of the biggest studios. Uh, Even the Grand Egyptian Museum is scheduled to open
Oh
this
yeah,
year. It'd be
yes.
amazing. It'd be amazing to go see that. But yeah, look, honestly, I'd love to go to Egypt or Lebanon. Hopefully that does become reality next year, maybe.
Yep.
But yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Look, in your book, if I may, make reference to Kulthum, as an actress, not as a singer. And
Yeah,
seeing the poster, I have to tell people, you gotta, if you haven't seen the poster, get the book. Sorry, I mean,
yeah,
I had
exactly.
when I saw the poster of Kulthum as an actress, it was just
Yep.
remarkable. And if you haven't seen it, I haven't come across it. So great work on your behalf of the research.
Thank you.
Where could I just for our listeners, where can we our listeners buy your book and what your email website, please, if that's available to the public?
No worries. So the book's available at Readings bookstores across Australia. It's also available on eBay and Amazon.
Yep,
And if people did want to contact me, my website is khalidhosni.com.
yep.
And then my email is khalid@khalidhosni.com.
Okay, thank you so much. I sincerely want to say thank you for giving us your valuable time. Great work, and hopefully we'll see a sequel to the exhibition sometime in the future, maybe in an event up that's coming up very soon. Khaled,
I hope so. Thank you so much, Jerry. It's been a pleasure chatting.
bye now.
Thank you. Bye.